ESPN baseball reporter Jeff Passan tweeting, quote, huge news. Major League Baseball announces it will be moving the All-Star game from Atlanta in response to the new voting laws passed by Georgia. Major League Baseball released this statement, quote, over the last week, we have engaged in thoughtful conversations with clubs, former and current players, the Players Association, the Players Alliance, among others, to listen to their views. I have decided the best way to demonstrate our values as a sport is by relocating this year's All-Star game and the draft. Major League Baseball fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions at the ballot box. Matt, you have been so heavily involved in the past year in the initiative to get people out to vote and then fighting against people trying to take away American citizens' rights to participate in democracy, which, make no mistake, that is what has been going on here.
Insane. But this is big to me from a standpoint of baseball is America's passport. You know what I mean? They're supposed to represent America, you know what I mean? So for them to step to the forefront and say, what you're doing is wrong, you're trying to take people's rights away, so we're going to take our business away because for some reason you're the only people that think this is okay. And granted, there's other states doing it, and hopefully everyone has to get this backlash. But it's crazy to me that we finally came together as just a unit, everyone, and came out and voted, that now they want to make it harder to vote. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and look, when you have to understand, and it's not even a Republican or a Democrat thing, it's like everyone. We're trying to make it easier for everyone to vote. And then there's a group of people that believe, well, these people shouldn't vote, or this needs to be. I understand, but once you start taking things away, and it's just like anything, okay, if that's what you want to do, and if you look at it, the Delta CEO criticized what was going on, and then all of a sudden the Georgia State Senate tried to pass and take away a tax break that Delta was going to get. So it's funny that, like, people that might complain about this, they looked at the Georgia State Senate was like,
we're doing the same thing. If you don't agree with us, we're taking something away.
If you don't agree with us, we're going to take away this tax break. And then Major League Baseball steps up and is like, well, if you're going to take away something, we can play the takeaway game. And that's where it becomes petty. It becomes petty, and it becomes bad for everyone. The businesses in Georgia, all of the employees, all of the people, like an All-Star game or a Super Bowl or an NBA All-Star game, it generates billions of dollars for the economy. This is not an Olympics where you have to build a ton of stuff. They use the facilities there, and it just generates money for the income. So all of the people in Georgia, notice what's going on. Like, a lot of money and opportunity was lost for your state because of this situation.
Salute to the MLB.
Absolutely. I have a lot of respect for Major League Baseball here. And you just have to look at the photo. This photo, to me, just kind of says, there you go, photo's worth 1,000 words, right? This is the group of people, older white men, who took away some of the access to voting for people who do not look like them, largely, just statistically, by the numbers. And I understand the law itself doesn't have racial or financial discrimination written into it, but the way that the law is written targets certain communities, and it's very clear by who is signing that which communities are benefiting and which might not be.
And we talk so much about inclusion and diversity, and I understand that those guys are elected officials, so, like, you can't criticize people that have elected them. But ultimately, if you have 6 individuals of any situation that are all similar, they're not viewing things from different perspectives, different backgrounds, different experiences. And so, yes, you have those individuals that are going to pass this law, but is that a representation of the state of Georgia?
No.
I would think not.
And one last thing, obviously they pointed out the picture too of obviously they're signing underneath the slave plantation, but the fact that that picture's still up. Like, why is that picture even up at this point?
I don't know if everybody's heard about that. There's the portrait behind them. The portrait behind them.
It's just saying we do what we want.
Yes. And there you go. And of course, it's under the cloak of, quote, voter fraud, when the actual number of cases of voter fraud have been so tiny compared to other things that do go on in this country that we haven't regulated, whether it's gun deaths, whether it's certain other things. It's just very clear what is happening, and it's clear to the fact that Major League Baseball has pulled its All-Star game. We will have to see what happens, because it's not just the state of Georgia. There are more than 40 states that have legislation trying to make its way through these state legislatures to limit American citizens' access to the ballot box. And it is really impressive that an organization like Major League Baseball stood up and said, sorry, we're not on board.